My name is Naomi, and I'm the newest member of a fast-growing tech company. I've always loved the energy of city life, but nothing could have prepared me for what I'd find in my new workplace. I work in a big, tall building in the heart of downtown, surrounded by glass towers and bustling streets. Every morning, the city hums with possibility as I make my way inside. My company just moved in and renovated everything. Fresh paint, new carpets, modern furniture. The place smells like new beginnings, and everyone seems excited to be here. My desk is on the 10th floor, right by a huge window with a dizzying city view. Sometimes, I catch myself staring out, watching the world go by far below. The best part? A brand new, silent elevator with mirrored walls and bright lights. It glides so smoothly you barely feel it moving. It's almost futuristic, like something out of a sci-fi movie. The control panel is odd. No numbers, just symbols for each floor. It's unlike any elevator I've ever seen, and it makes every ride feel a little mysterious. There's a coffee cup for the cafeteria, a computer for my floor, and other quirky icons for different departments. It's playful, almost like a puzzle you have to solve every morning. But at the bottom, there's a single black button labeled Other. It stands out, stark and mysterious, as if it doesn't quite belong. I asked my boss about it. He just shrugged. Probably for maintenance, don't worry about it. His answer was casual, but I could tell he didn't really know either. So I tried to ignore it, telling myself it was nothing important. After all, everyone else seemed to go about their day without a second thought. But every time I rode the elevator, my eyes went straight to that mysterious button. It was like it was calling to me, daring me to press it. Other. What could it mean? Why was it there, so different from the rest? No one seemed to care, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was like a riddle hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to solve it. It felt like a secret, waiting for someone to discover. Every day, my curiosity grew stronger. I told myself it was nothing, just a harmless quirk in a modern building. But the thought lingered, impossible to shake. But deep down, I knew I'd press it someday. I just had to know what would happen, even if it was just to satisfy my own curiosity. And that's where everything started to go wrong. Sometimes, the smallest mysteries can lead to the biggest changes in your life. Weeks slipped by, and I found myself buried in work. Long hours, late nights, and the kind of silence that makes you hyper-aware of every little sound. The office, once bustling with life, now felt like a different world after dark. The hum of computers and distant city lights outside the windows were my only company. One night, I finally wrapped up a big project. It was nearly midnight, and the clock on the wall seemed to tick louder in the emptiness. The office was shrouded in darkness, shadows stretching across every corner. I felt a strange sense of isolation, as if I was the last person left in the world. I packed up my things, the sound of my zipper echoing, and made my way to the elevator. The hallway lights flickered as I pressed the call button. The silver doors slid open with a soft chime. I stepped inside, instantly comforted by the bright, artificial lights that chased away the gloom. In the mirrored walls, I caught my reflection, hair a mess, dark circles under my eyes, and a look of exhaustion that I couldn't hide. I reached for the lobby button, but then my gaze drifted down to a strange button labeled Other. My hand hovered, uncertain as curiosity crept in. Why not? I was exhausted, a little punchy from lack of sleep, and completely alone. The idea of something different, even if just a button, felt oddly tempting. My finger hovered over the black button, heart beating a little faster with anticipation. I told myself it was nothing, just a harmless curiosity. But I pressed it anyway. The button clicked, and a faint light glowed around it. For a moment, absolutely nothing happened. The silence grew heavier, and I wondered if I'd imagined the whole thing. Then, suddenly,
The door slammed shut with a metallic clang that echoed through the empty building, and to my shock, the elevator began to move, not up, not down, but sideways, as if the laws of physics had quietly changed just for me.
The elevator rattled and shook, lights flickering, a low hum filling the space. My heart pounded as the mirrors flashed my terrified face. I gripped the handrail, wishing I could undo what I'd done. The ride felt endless, like a roller coaster in the dark. I squeezed my eyes shut, hoping it would stop. Suddenly, everything stilled. The humming faded, the lights steadied. I opened my eyes, breathless. The other button was dark. I thought it was over. Then came a soft ding. The doors slid open. I expected the lobby. Instead, I saw my office. But something was wrong. It was my office, but not my office. I stepped out, confused. The air was cold, with a sweet, rotten smell. The lights were dim, shadows stretching everywhere. Everything was too perfect. Desks neat, screens spotless, not a coffee cup in sight. It felt like a museum display, not a real office. My desk was there, but it wasn't right. The silence was heavy, unnatural. I realized this was a copy, a wrong version of my world. I stood frozen, dread creeping up my spine. Nothing moved, but I felt watched. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. This place was familiar but twisted. I didn't belong here. I needed to get out. But the elevator doors had already closed behind me. I wandered through the silent office, every surface warped and wrong, as if reality itself had been bent out of shape. The air was heavy, thick with a sense of unease that pressed against my skin. The plant by the window was dead, its leaves brittle and grey, and the coffee pot was filled with black sludge that looked more like oil than anything drinkable. A mouldy apple sat on the counter, its skin sunken and bruised, the smell of rot thick in the air, making me gag. Even the break room felt hostile, as if it resented my presence. The portraits on the wall had two wide smiles, their eyes following me wherever I moved, watching with a hunger that made my skin crawl. Whispers echoed from the walls, sad, fearful, impossible to understand. The voices seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once, filling the silence with dread. My desk was neat, almost untouched, but my favorite mug was cracked down the middle, the cat on it now twisted into a menacing grin that hadn't been there before. I reached for it, but my hands shook uncontrollably, as if my body knew something my mind refused to accept. This wasn't my desk, my mug, or even my world. Everything was familiar, yet horribly wrong, as if I'd stepped into a distorted reflection of my life. I was trapped in a nightmare version of my life, a place where nothing made sense and every detail was off. The whispers grew louder, filling my head with a chorus of voices that threatened to drown out my own thoughts. I felt eyes on me, everywhere I turned, as if the office itself was alive and watching, waiting for me to slip. I wanted to scream, to break the silence, but no sound came out. My voice was lost, swallowed by the oppressive atmosphere. I had to find a way back, to escape this twisted place before it consumed me completely. But the office seemed to stretch forever, corridors looping back on themselves, doors leading only to more confusion. I was lost in the other, a world that looked like mine but was filled with shadows and fear. And I was not alone. Something else was here with me, lurking just out of sight, waiting for me to make a mistake. The whispers became voices, urgent, panicked. "Don't belong here, or go back the button." I searched for the source, but the office was empty. Then I saw her, me, standing in the shadows, slumped and hollow-eyed. My double stared at me, her face pale, eyes like black holes. She spoke without moving her lips. "You shouldn't have come here." Her voice echoed in my mind, flat, emotionless. "You pressed the button. Don't press it again. Ever." She pointed at me, desperate. "This place changes you. If you stay, you'll become an other." Terror jolted through me. I understood this was a trap, The elevator, the button, this twisted floor, it was all a snare. I had to escape. Now, before I became like her, before I was lost forever. I ran, the voices screaming, "Hurry! The elevator!" The hallway stretched endlessly, portraits sneering as I passed. My lungs burned, legs ached, but I didn't stop. I reached the elevator, frantically pressing the call button. Ding! 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 The doors finally opened. I leaped inside, jabbing at the lobby symbol. Anything but other. The doors closed, shutting out the nightmare office. The elevator moved down, smooth and quiet. My reflection stared back, pale and tear-streaked. I slid to the floor, sobbing with relief and terror. The ride felt endless. I just wanted to be home. Away from the whispers, the dead plants, the girl who looked like me. I prayed I'd escaped, but I wasn't sure. The elevator doors opened to the real lobby. Chairs, front desk, security guard. George, the guard, smiled. "Working late again, Naomi." I couldn't speak. I rushed out, desperate for fresh air. The city felt normal. Traffic, sirens, people. I told myself it was just a bad dream. But at home, things felt off. Cold air, a faint rotten smell. My keys felt heavy, the door creaked. Everything looked the same, but I couldn't shake the dread. In the bathroom, I stared at my reflection. I tried to smile, to convince myself I was safe, but the girl in the mirror didn't smile back. She pressed her hand to the glass, a silent warning. I realized I hadn't escaped. I'd brought something back with me, and the other was still watching.